Hi everyone. So I wanted to give a quick little update for my Ukkomon Rush deck, now featuring Tamer removal. But now that I have played the deck even more, um, I have made some changes to the deck. I actually got first place today. Um, I was so close to getting first the last time at locals, but again the hunters won. So I was like, actually, the biggest weakness that I can think of in this deck, I was like, well, actually, I have Digimon removal, but I kind of want Tamer removal. So I was like thinking how to put Tamer removal in the deck. I am still using red blue base, um, but yeah, now I have Tamer removal, and it's actually a really nice fit for the deck. So let's go over everything really quickly, because I know that I spent way too long on these videos. So everything is now really zoomed in. I'm going to go by the levels. So I have 4 Koromon BT14, 1 Missymon EX4. So the 4 Koromons have that inherited effect. Your turn once returned. When a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, draw 1. This is honestly the best egg for rookie rushing, generic rookie rushing, because as long as you can have this inheritable, it doesn't matter if you have a Tamer in play, it doesn't matter if your opponent has a Digimon no sources out, it doesn't matter if you have jamming, it doesn't matter what traits you have in your Digimon type. But like, as long as you have this in the inheritable, when a security is removed, you draw 1. And then Missymon, inheritable EX4. So on deletion, if you have a Digimon in play, draw 1. So this Koromon, honestly, the best for the deck. This Missymon, the best with the rookies that I have right now. I do have a splash option available for you if you want even more draw power. But of course, I have the 4 Koromons for maximum draw power. The Missymon just for optimum draw power based on the rookies I have. But if you want to replace this Missymon with a different egg, I have something in mind. If you want to focus on even more draw power. So for the rookies of the deck, I'm playing 4 EX5 Lunamon, 4 of the BT16 Ukkomon, and then 4 of the promo Ukkomon. Ooh, it's now the nice, shiny, premium Bandai promo. Okay, so let's go over these pretty quickly. So again, because I'm playing red and blue eggs, I kind of want a rookie that can digivolve off of red or blue. So I'm choosing Lunamon. Primarily Lunamon because it can digivolve over my Koromon or over my Missymon. However, I really love the start of main effect a lot more than I initially thought that I would. So it does have this really nice start of main. Start of your main phase by returning one of your Digimon to the hand, gain 2 memory. It has saved my skin several times. Not at locals, but I have been playing this deck so much on Digimon Card Game Online. But, for example, if your Digimon has to attack start of main phase, for example, one of my level 6 Ace Digimon, they have to attack. I know that my opponent will blast Digivolve into something. I can just get rid of that entirely, bounce that Digimon that has to attack to hand, gain 2 memory. Even if I lose memory due to overflow, as long as I have 2 or more memory before I bounce it to hand, overflow for gain back 2, so I'll be at 0, it will still be my turn. And at least that way my opponent will not be able to blast Digivolve, and I will be able to mess around with the cards in hand, and then hopefully remove that Digimon from play before they get a chance to even blast Digivolve. So if they were to blast Digivolve, it would most likely remove several things from my board. But if I just return that ace to hand, even if I lose memory, I gain 2, and then I can just do some on-play shenanigans to hopefully get rid of my opponent's Digimon. But yeah, this start of main effect, return a Digimon to my hand to gain 2 memory, is actually pretty nice. Oftentimes, I also play this game, and then I don't really have any plays I want to do, so I just end turn by playing out Lunamon, and then start of my next turn, I can bounce this Lunamon to hand to just gain the 2 memory back. So if on a turn I don't want to give my opponent too much memory, I just play Lunamon for 3. Next turn, well, I might as well just bounce it back and then be able to hatch on the egg. So this Lunamon actually comes up a lot for the start of main phase effect. Now the Ukkomons are pretty self-explanatory. So I am playing Ukkomon Rush. What is really great about Ukkomon is that after you promote a Digimon from breeding to battle area, you will get to hatch an egg. So let's go over the Ukkomons. So this Ukkomon can Digivolve off of any color level 2 Digimon for 1. This Ukkomon, the promo one, can Digivolve off of any color level 2 Digimon for 0. So regardless of my red or blue egg, they can Digivolve on top of any egg, any of my eggs. So when this Digimon, or like specifically, when any Digimon is promoted out from breeding, reveal top 3 cards of the deck, add 1 Digimon or Tamer to the hand, and then return the rest to the bottom of the deck in any order, then you can hatch an egg. This Ukkomon, when one of your Digimon is brought out from breeding to battle area, you can hatch an egg and then gain 1 memory. So realistically, they just because they are able to hatch eggs so quickly, this deck can easily rookie rush your opponent down. And it is actually surprising because I have won several games on my 3rd turn with this deck, just because I can swing with maybe like 3 rookies in a turn, and then swing for 2 checks in a turn with one of my level 6s. And then if I have 1 more check before that, or even some way, if I can just get enough checks in, I can win as early as turn 3, maybe turn 2 if I am very, very lucky, but usually by my 3rd turn, if I have all the right pieces. But yeah, it is surprising how fast you can rookie rush with this deck. If you high roll, get the pieces right, you can win by turn 3. Even if not, these Ukkomon on top of your eggs will serve as your draw engine. So then you can draw the pieces that you need for Megazoo style play. But yeah, you either rookie rush them down or you play Megazoo style, both of which I really enjoy. So if you wanted even more draw power, I would replace these Lunamons with Promo Gilmon. So Promo Gilmon digivolves from a red level 2 egg for 0. It has this one attacking effect. When you attack with it, you draw 1. So if you did value draw power even more, I would replace this Missimon egg with the EX2 Gigimon. The inheritable effect, if this Digimon has Gilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in name, when attacking, draw 1. So honestly, the Promo Gilmon on top of this Koromon would be able to draw 1 when attacking, draw 1 when security is checked. So that's basically draw 2 with the Promo Gilmon. And then the EX2 Gigimon, when attacking, draw 1 because it has Gilmon in name, draw 1 because of the when attacking effect on the actual Promo Gilmon. So if you have a Gilmon on your Koromon or on your EX2 Gigimon, you draw 1. Actually, you draw 2 realistically. So if you do want to get more draw power in, I would replace this Lunamon with Promo Gilmon, replace this Missimon with the EX2 Gigimon. So basically, if you have a Gilmon, when attacking, basically draw 2. Unless it is removed by security before this Koromon will trigger. But honestly, I really love the Lunamon a lot more than I initially thought that I would. Just bouncing one of my Digimon to hand, so I am not being able to so that my opponent is not able to blast Digivolve for me being forced to attack with it, is actually really nice. Playing Lunamon for 3, just because I have nothing else really that I want to do, and then next turn bounce it back to hand, gain 2 memory, is also really nice. So honestly, I really like the Lunamon in my deck. I have yet to play the Gilmon. It could maybe even be better, but as of right now, I really like the Ukkomons and Lunamons for my deck. Okay, and then let's go over level 5s. I'm not playing any level 4s in this deck. So 4 of the Magna Angemon Ace from BT14. 4 of the Zudomon Ace from BT14. And then 4 of the Etamon from EX5. So before I was playing Nightmon, but it has occurred to me that I don't really need the Nightmon. So this Nightmon promo, honestly, it is really fun to play. 7 cost, 7000 DP, blocker on play when digivolving. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn for each of your Digimon. So it is a pretty nice card, especially since you are swarming the field with your many Digimon. However, I find that it's not really necessary. So it did end up being a splash card for me. I didn't really need it as much, so I just took it out. So in this updated list, you will not be blast digivolving as much, but you don't actually need to blast digivolve as much. You can just play out your level 6 megas, and then they still have the on play effects. So I just decided that the Nightmon was fun, but it wasn't really necessary. It did allow for consistent blast digivolving, but I find myself just being okay with just playing the level 6s from hand anyways. But yeah, let's go over the level 5s. So the Magna Angemon Ace, 4 costs 8000 DP on play. If you have 5 or fewer security cards, recovery +1 from deck. Then for the turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 DP for each card in your security stack. So this is really nice for removing small DP Digimon. Even as a turn 1, maybe early game play, I would just play this for 4. Even if my opponent has no Digimon out, just being able to play this for 4, recovering 1, is pretty nice in my opinion. That way you have an early attacker. Even if it's 8000 DP, this can still bypass many security Digimon. It does have Overflow 3, which isn't as bad considering that I did get that recovery. So honestly, really love the card. If I have a memory setter, I'm at 3. I can play this for 4, choke my opponent to 1. So the 4 cost is actually pretty nice. But yeah, I love this card for early mid-game play. If I am really low on security, just playing this, even if I do not delete anything, that recovery is really good. So honestly, the removal is nice, but this card is really great for just recovering. Zudomon Ace. So on play, when digivolving, same stats as the Magna Angemon Ace, by the way, 4 cost 8000 DP. So on play when digivolving, trash any 2 Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the hand. So this is honestly really nice. Being able to trash sources from your opponent's Digimon can set up for combos with Defexmon or Vikemon Ace, but realistically, just bouncing anything back to hand, any sourceless Digimon back to hand, really nice effect. 4 cost. It is such amazing removal. If my opponent is just playing with few sources out, I can just, or if they have some protection in their sources, I can remove those sources and then bounce sourceless Digimon to hand. Amazing card. Again, the 4 cost will help me if I want to memory choke my opponent or just not give them too much memory. And then both of these, of course, being low cost level 5s, I'm very comfortable just hard playing them from hand and then setting up for a level 6 blast Digivolution. This Etamon EX5, just absolutely amazing. 7 cost 7000 DP on play when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP and gains start of your main phase. This Digimon attacks. So Etamon can go into many of your level 6 aces. Notice that I say many of them. In my last video, you could go into any of them, but I did add in a level 6 ace that actually works for the deck surprisingly more than you would expect. But yeah, this Etamon is able to go into your Valkyremon Ace or your Vikemon Ace, or depending on what you value more, as Longmon Ace or Seraphimon Ace. But yeah, this Etamon will be able to force something to attack, give it minus 3000 DP, and then you can go into your aces pretty easily. Again, you will not be blasted evolving as much in this build, especially since I have cut the level 5s from 16 to only 12 count. But I do find that you don't necessarily need to blast into them. Like some of them, of course, it would be better if you do blast Digivolve. However, sometimes you're just really comfortable playing them from hand. So I have 4 Valkyrieomon Ace. I have 4 of the Ukkomon Ace. 4 of the Azulongmon Ace. I will talk about this one especially. And then 4 of the Grand Kawagamon Ace, which kind of looks really strange in this deck, but it actually does come up depending on what your opponent is running. But yeah, let's go over the 16 level 6 aces in the deck. Valkyrieomon Ace. Actually, they are all 7 costs. They're all 12,000 DP. They all have on-play effects. So even if you don't Digivolve into them, you are able to use their on-play effects, which is absolutely nice. All of these effects are amazing in my opinion. But yeah, let's go over Valkyrieomon Ace. On play, when Digivolving, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 5,000 DP for the turn. So honestly, I would just play this from hand if I need to quote-unquote Crimson Blaze their field. It's not really Crimson Blaze, but like for the turn, all of their Digimon 5k or less are just deleted. If they play anything that's under 5k or that's 5k or less, it's just deleted. But yeah, this is amazing. This is my Paildramon counter, as I like to call it. This is also a really great Numemon counter. So really amazing against Numemon and Paildramon decks. If I play against those, it's basically a win for me, just because of how great this Valkyrieomon Ace is. It also has this passive effect all turns once per turn. When a card is removed from its security stack, delete one of your opponent's 8,000 DP or lower Digimon. If this effect didn't delete, this Digimon gains security attack +1 until the end of your turn. So if your opponent attacks with a Digimon that cannot be delayed by effects, or if they prevented that deletion by effect, or if it's 9k or bigger, and then this effect just does not delete, they check the security, you gain security attack +1 until the end of your turn. And then your next turn you attack with 2 security attacks, and then if you do not delete anything, then you get another security attack. So you can check for 3 security, depending on if your opponent's Digimon got deleted or not, if they checked your security or not. But usually this will check 2 security pretty reliably. I really like it, just because if I do force my opponent to attack me with Edamon, I can just easily remove their 13,000 DP Digimon. So minus 3,000 because of Edamon. Oh, no, I said that wrong. I can remove 8,000 DP Digimon really easily. So minus 3,000 with Edamon, minus 5,000 with the Valkyrieomon. It will be deleted before it even gets a chance to check security. However, you can also delete 16,000 DP or higher Digimon. So Edamon minus 3k, so it's now 13,000. Valkyrieomon minus 5k, so it's now 8,000. They check security. If it is not deleted by one of your many 8k or higher Digimon, that does not matter because this effect will trigger before that. Delete that now 8k or less Digimon, so you can easily remove it. Or if it will lose in security battle, they can just delete one of their other 8k or lower Digimon. Valkyrieomon, absolutely amazing for the deck. Ukkomon Ace. So on play when Digivolving, Digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon. Then none of their Digimon with 1 or fewer sources can suspend until the end of their turn. So this is just really amazing, especially when you notice that Digivolves for 3 off of a Zudamon. So if you do have Zudamon Ace out you only have 3 memory to work with, you can still keep turn, go into Ukkomon Ace for 3, de-digivolve 2 something, attack, and hopefully get rid of something with 1 or fewer sources. Ukkomon Ace is just really great for this deck. If your opponent does have some Ace Digimon, you can just de-digivolve 2, gain your opponent will lose memory because of overflow. So this is just amazing. You can stun your opponent, you can delete their Digimon, you can de-digivolve their Digimon to get rid of troublesome effects, which usually comes up a lot. But yeah, this is just amazing. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 1 or fewer Digivolution cards. Absolutely amazing cards. So these are the 2 best level 6 aces in the deck. So Azulongmon Ace. I would also recommend Seraphimon Ace from EX6. Unfortunately, I did not pick up any EX6 products, so I do not have any Seraphimon Aces. But I will get them soon from a trade. But yeah, Azulongmon Ace is okay. It does have some benefits over Seraphimon Ace, but usually Seraphimon Ace is better, and I will explain why. So it has on play when digivolving. Return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the hand, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with the Deva, 4 Great Dragons, or 4 Sovereigns trait. So basically, when this comes into play, by you on playing it or by you digivolving into it, you can bounce a level 5 or lower Digimon to your opponent's hand. It does unsuspend, which I find does not really matter for my deck that much. Granted, you could possibly get an extra attack, but usually I just don't digivolve into this on my turn for 4. But it could come up, like if you have like 4 memory to digivolve into it, keep turn, and then attack, it could happen. But usually it's just used for the on play effect, or when you digivolve by blast digivolving, bounce a level 5 or lower to your opponent's hand. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So that is actually pretty nice. However, because your opponent will try to circumvent that, they will try to bounce it to hand, or they will try to de-digivolve it, or something, but they will try to work around the undeletion. Of course, if they know the undeletion, they won't try to delete it. So this undeletion does not actually come up if your opponent has the right tools to remove Azulongmon Ace without actually deleting it. But yeah, I strongly recommend that you play Seraphimon Ace from EX6 over this Azulongmon Ace now that we have Seraphimon Ace. So Seraphimon Ace, 7,000 DP, I believe also 12,000 DP on play when digivolving. It is also blue and yellow, so it can also go over any of your level 5 Digimon. So on play when digivolving, recovery 1 from deck. All turns effect once per turn. I believe that's all turns, but I do not have the card on me right now, but I believe it might be all turns. Once per turn, when a card is added to your security stack, bounce one of your opponent's Digimon with as much of a level or as lower a level than the number of your security stack to their hand. So I noticed that in my deck, I just usually have so much security early game. If I am rushing my opponent down, they are just like they're just building up, or they are just focusing on getting rid of my rookies or one of my Digimon in play. So by the time that I actually would play Azulongmon Ace, I usually have like 5, maybe 6 security, but I can only bounce level 5 or lower to the hand. It has come up many times where I had hoped that, this would actually be better if this is a Seraphimon Ace. That way I get the recovery, and then I can maybe bounce a level 7 to hand, level 6 to hand. Even if I have that Seraphimon Ace on field, then I play out another Seraphimon Ace, both of them will trigger, and then I can bounce 2 Digimon to the hand, or if I have the Seraphimon Ace on field, I can play out Magna Angemon Ace. Assuming that I do get that recovery, I can bounce a level 6 to the hand or something. But yeah, Seraphimon Ace is just, in my opinion, better than Azulongmon Ace. I just do not have it, so that is the reason why is Azulongmon Ace. But I plan on replacing Azulongmon Ace with Seraphimon Ace as soon as I get it. I will, however, say that this on deletion is good for certain matchups. For example, the top matchup that I can think off the top of my head is Ogudomon. So, assuming that your opponent is able to play out Ogudomon end of your turn, you can just play out this Azulongmon Ace for 7. Maybe you bounce something to hand, maybe you don't. But like, this is on the field. Your opponent end of your turn will then play out Ogudomon Ace. Next turn, they will probably attack with the Ogudomon Ace. When attacking effect, place the up to 7 Digivolution cards with 7 Great Demon Lords in their trait with unique names under Ogudomon. If 4 or more are placed under Ogudomon in this way, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. So, if this Azulongmon Ace is deleted, you will most likely delete their Ogudomon. If it has not come yet at that time, that Azulongmon Ace is deleted, they will then attack, and then when attacking effect, they will strip the sources from Ogudomon, place them at the bottom of their deck. They will delete Azulongmon Ace at that time, and then you can then delete Ogudomon. That is a really niche example of when it could come up. But like, sometimes this on deletion does actually come up. Or, you can just swing at security with less fear. If this is deleted in security battle, they just delete your opponent's Digimon anyways. So yeah, if this is deleted, you get to delete one of their things, which is nice. However, I find that Seraphimon Ace is better. So, for example, if I have no really good plays, I might just play Azulongmon Ace from hand, not bouncing anything, because there's nothing to bounce. Or, I do bounce the thing, but if I do bounce it, I kind of want that recovery as well. Seraphimon Ace, you recover and then you bounce, and usually your security is high enough that you can bounce level 6s, level 7s, no problem. Even if it tapers down even less, you can rack up more security with Magna Angemon Ace. But yeah, you can, late game, you can reliably bounce level 4, level 5 Digimon pretty easily. But yeah, this is my quote-unquote Ogudomon counter. I call it that. It's not great at countering Ogudomon, but technically it does counter Ogudomon. However, if you have Seraphimon Ace, it is my quote-unquote Magnamon X Antibody counter. So the best counter for Magnamon X Antibody is probably Vikemon Ace. You de-digivolve Magnamon X Antibody by 2 when they attack, and then after they attack, they'll probably be deleted in security battle. But yeah, Vikemon Ace, probably the better Magnamon X Antibody counter. However, if you do play Seraphimon Ace, and then your opponent attacks with Magnamon X Antibody, you can then go into Seraphimon Ace, recover to 6 or more security. If, of course, you have enough security to get rid of the Magnamon X Antibody. But if you recover, you have 6 or more security, you can then bounce that Magnamon X Antibody to hand before they check security. So if they are not playing any cards that remove from security, you can just play Seraphimon Ace, remove that Magnamon X Antibody. So Seraphimon is just better in my opinion. So even if you don't, I'm thinking about how to phrase this, but Azulongmon Ace is nice if you bounce something. So if you want to bounce a level 5 or lower, sure, you can play Azulongmon Ace, or you can digivolve into Azulongmon Ace, bounce it to hand. However, if you have Seraphimon, then most likely you will recover and then bounce it to hand anyways. So this will bounce to hand, doesn't really do much else, except that it has that nice on deletion on it. Seraphimon Ace will recover, bounce to hand at all turns when a card is added to your security stack, even on future turns. For example, if you play a different Seraphimon Ace, if you play out Magna Angemon Ace, you will then be able to bounce something again. But yeah, I kind of like that recovery more than I like this undulation, because your opponent can easily play around this undulation. However, Seraphimon just giving you more security is, in my opinion, just the better effect. And it has that counter against Magnamon X antibody, as well as other decks that you want to get rid of a level 6. So I have found that because I can keep gaining security with Magna Angemon Ace, I can pretty reliably blast Digivolve once I have 5 or 6 security even. So if I replace this with Seraphimon Ace, I will be able to get rid of level 6, possibly level 7 Digimon. But this is limited to only 5 or lower. So I don't love this as much as Seraphimon Ace. And I will 100% put it in once I get it from my trade later. But yeah, this is like okay. It's okay, but it's not great. Grand Kuwagamon Ace is actually pretty good for the deck. So I have noticed that I do want Tamer removal in this deck. Grand Kuwagamon Ace is just amazing for it. So 7 costs on play when digivolving. Suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Cards this effect suspended can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. Then delete one of their suspended Tamers. So this is just really nice. You play this for 7. You stun 2 things on board. Delete one of their suspended Tamers. It's just really nice. Do note that you have to suspend by this effect for them to not be able to unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase. But if I want to get rid of my opponent's Tamer, so for example, they have a 4-cost memory setter, I do not feel bad just playing this from hand for 7, removing their Tamer, possibly stunning something on board. And this is surprisingly very aggressive for the deck as well. So your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. So basically, this is a really aggressive element to the deck. Valkyriemon Ace usually hits for 2 security attacks. This usually hits for 2 security attacks as well. But yeah, I really like this card as an addition to the deck. So I can be really aggressive with it by giving one of my Digimon security attack +1, usually itself. However, I can give it to something else if I wanted to, but I usually just give it to itself. But yeah, I can remove Tamers, which is just really nice. I cannot Digivolve into this card, which isn't really much of a drawback. I kind of imagine these level 6 Digimon more as option cards than I kind of imagine them as Digimon. So Valkyriemon Ace is like a pseudo Crimson Blaze like effect, similar to Shangreimon Rune Mode effect, but not necessarily as strong. Valkyriemon Ace is D-Digivolve 2 when you play it, and then basically a stronger version of Sorai. Azalongmon Ace, bounce a level 5 or lower to hand, really awesome effect. Grand Kuwagamon Ace, suspend 2 things, delete one of your opponent's suspended Tamers, amazing effect as well. So I kind of visualize and imagine Grand Kuwagamon Ace kind of like an option card, more than I do a Digimon card. You can just play this from hand for its really amazing effect. If you want to get rid of a Tamer, you can absolutely play it from hand. And if you don't really want to get rid of anything, then you can just play your other Ace Digimon. But it's just a really nice card to have should you find yourself in a matchup where you do actually want to get rid of Tamers. For example, if you're playing against Hunters, or maybe even Blue Flare, just getting rid of their Kiriha or their Kiriha Nene. But yeah, just being able to get rid of Tamers in some matchups can actually be really devastating for your opponent. again, 4 Valkyrieomon Ace, 4 Vikemon Ace, 4 Grand Kuwagamon Ace, and this really should be Seraphimon Ace. I just do not have any at the moment, so I would strongly advise that you play Seraphimon Ace instead of that Azlongmon Ace. 4 Def Xmons. So again, imagine this more as an option than as a Digimon. So 20 play cost, 15,000 DP. You could Digivolve for 6 off of Grand Kuwagamon Ace if you wanted to, because it is purple. Or you could Digivolve for 6 off of Vikemon Ace because it is black. So should you find yourself in a position where you are unable to play Def Xmon because your opponent does not have enough Digimon or Tamers out, so you can't really play it by reducing costs, you could still Digivolve into it for 6, de-Digivolve their Digimon, and then delete level 4 or lower Digimon. So that could actually come up. But, of course, Def Xmon, everyone kind of knows the effects right now. But when you would play this card, reduce cost by 3 for every Tamer or Digimon your opponent has. On play, when Digivolving, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's de-Digivolve all of your opponent's Digimon, then delete all of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. End of your opponent's turn, once per turn, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So this is just a really awesome card to have. If your opponent is going wide, you can just play this, absolutely devastate their field. And now you have a huge 15,000 DP Digimon that you probably played for very cheap that can then act as an additional attacker. So this is pretty nice at just punishing your opponent for going wide, while also serving as another aggressive element to the deck, because if you do end up playing this for cheap, or even if it's not really cheap, you do get to remove a bunch of stuff, delete something every turn, and then swing 15,000 DP on your other turns, because this thing is a powerhouse. Now for the Tamers. 2 Hero Manakawa, and then 2 of the Promo Louis. So Hero Manakawa, Memory Setter. When you attack with level 5 or higher Digimon, suspend Hero Manakawa, give one of your Digimon 2,000 DP or plus 2,000 DP. So it doesn't even have to be the attacking Digimon. You can give it to any of your Digimon as when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon attacks. So, for example, Valkyrieomon Ace is my go-to with Hero Manakawa. So if I attack with Valkyrieomon Ace, suspend, let's say I only have 1 Hero Manakawa, plus 2,000 DP, so it'll be 14,000 DP. It will outlive 13,000 DP or lower Digimon, which is pretty nice. In the event that I do have 2 Hero Manakawas, which isn't too likely, but it can come up, especially if I play 1 from hand and then 1 gets checked in security later. So if I suspend 2 Hero Manakawas, so it's now 16,000 DP, it will outlive 15,000 DP Digimon or lower, which does actually come up. Even if you don't attack with a level 6 Ace Digimon, you could maybe buff up your Def Xmon to 17,000, possibly 19,000, to overrun your opponent's suspended Digimon. Or if you want some more livability, you can even buff up one of your level 5 Ace Digimon, only 8,000, or in the case of Edamon, 7,000. So you can buff up your level 5 Digimon. Hopefully it will increase the livability of them so you can continue to rush them next turn, or even keep them on field for you to be able to blast Digivolve. But yeah, Hero Manakawa, really amazing for the deck. Louis Iwata, absolutely amazing card. This is the quote-unquote hybrid for game. So because you are able to hatch and raise Digimon so rapidly, for example, if I have this Ukkomon out, or like I have this Ukkomon in breeding, push it out, gain 1, because I hatch another egg, Digivolve into another Ukkomon, play out Louis from hand, for basically 1 cost. So Louis for 3, push Ukkomon out, gain 1, hatch an egg, suspend Louis, gain 1. So basically 1 cost, and like I can swing right away anyways. But yeah, absolutely goated card. This card is amazing. So this is a really large component of my deck, rookie rushing my opponent down. So should I dwindle them to 0 security, and then I just digivolve into a level 3 in the back, play out Louis Iwata, push that Digimon out, suspend Louis, gain 1 memory, swing for game, it does actually come up a lot. Louis, absolutely amazing. And not only that, but because you do plan on just promoting very rapidly, turns, like on subsequent turns, whenever you push out, you gain 1 memory. So basically, this is essentially starve turn, gain 1 memory, except it isn't really starve turn. It's whenever you push a Digimon out, which is quite often, but you can go from maybe 3 memory to 5 memory, or maybe 6 memory, depending on how many Louis you have out, depending on if you have the memory setter. But then this will allow you to keep turn while playing Vikemon, or not Vikemon, Zudomon Ace to get rid of something, just in case you suspect that they're going to blast, or Magna Angimon Ace to get rid of something. But yeah, absolutely goated card. But yeah, this is my deck currently. I really like the Lunamon. So because I like the Lunamon so much, it does make me feel like I want to run the Smithymon, as opposed to playing Promo Gilmon and then playing EX2 Gigimon. This Lunamon does come up in handy. I do really like it. But if you do value draw power, definitely replace Lunamon with Promo Gilmon, replace Missymon with EX2 Gigimon. And then, what else? I think that the next tech choice was Azulongmon Ace. Yep. So, Azulongmon Ace, if you don't really value the undulation as much as I do not really value this undulation as much, I would recommend that you substitute this out for Seraphimon Ace. The only reason why I haven't done so is because I do not have it yet. But yeah, being able to bounce even level 6, level 7 Digimon to hand sounds amazing. This can only bounce level 5 or lower to hand, which isn't as good. Not only that, but then that Seraphimon Ace also recovers 1. So should you be able to recover 1, that could mean the difference between you losing that game or not. Just because for each Seraphimon Ace that you play, you basically get 1 more security. So honestly, if you can build up 1, maybe 2 securities, so you have extra livability, it's just so nice. Being able to bounce possibly a level 6, level 7 Digimon to hand is just really nice as well. And although Azulongmon Ace is just guaranteed that you are able to bounce level 5 or lower to hand, you don't really have to worry about other conditions. It's like, oh, I don't care how many security I have, I can just bounce this level 5 or lower to hand. Seraphimon Ace, the possibility of even bouncing a level 6 or level 7 to hand is just so good that I would just strongly recommend that you use that instead. And then even mid game, so if your opponent pokes your security, you only have 5 security, and then you can just go into that Seraphimon Ace. You can even bounce level 5, maybe level 6 Digimon to hand. Maybe it's really late game, you don't have main security, you can bounce like maybe a level 3 to hand, which realistically your opponent will have a level 3 out, or they will have a level 6 out for most instances. So Seraphimon Ace is just the better call in my opinion. And then Grand Quagamon Ace is another splash card. I am splashing this in lieu of Nightmon promo. I have found that I don't really need Nightmon promo. I don't really need as many level 5 Digimon for the deck. However, if you want a different card to splash, you could also splash in this Edon promo. So on play, when Digivolving, D-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So D-Digivolving a Digimon is pretty nice, especially if they have an Ace Digimon. However, just because of the sheer amount of Digimon you have, Nightmon is usually the better play than this Edamon. Nightmon being able to delete something potentially is pretty nice. It does also have blocker, so that blocker can come in play should your opponent rookie rush you. But I would say that although Nightmon's on play is nice, you don't really depend on it. You technically don't really depend on Tamer removal either, but this can actually devastate your opponent's game plan depending on what kind of deck they're running. Like if they're really Tamer dependent, this can actually hurt them a lot. I did actually manage to win a game today because my opponent had a Digimon with blocker out, and because I had so many Louis and the Ukkomon, I would push out that Ukkomon. I was not able to finish the game because they, of course, had blocker. But then I was at 5 memory. I just played out Grand Quagamon Ace, suspended their Digimon with blocker, suspended their Tamer, delete their Tamer. They start turn at 2. That Digimon doesn't unsuspend. So then they had like 3 Digimon rushing them next turn. So they just did not. They were not able to handle this Grand Quagamon Ace. So this Grand Quagamon Ace, honestly, is pretty fun for the deck. I do like how it can be aggressive with Security Attack +1, but also the Tamer removal on it is just really nice. I do find that you don't really need too many level 5s in the deck after more playtesting. So Magna Angemon Ace, you do like it. Zudomon Ace, you do like it. Really amazing removal on both of them. Magna Angemon Ace will help you to recover. Edamon, really amazing removal as well as forcing your opponent to attack, so you can blast Digivolve pretty easily. But I do find that you don't necessarily need Nightmon. Like, just removing a Tamer, to me, feels a lot better. Like, should, this actually come up, it is just actually better. But yeah, this is my currently updated list. The only change from what I have shown you that I would consider is maybe removing Lunamon for Promo Gilmon, and then replacing Missymon for EX2 Gigimon. But yeah, definitely replace Aslongmon Ace with Serafimon Ace. But yeah, thank you for watching. I did end up talking a lot in this video again, despite me wanting to talk less. But yeah, I have very strong feelings about Aslongmon Ace. I'm only playing it because I have it for now, but when I get Serafimon Ace, this is definitely going out. Yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I get to showcase this deck on the sim in the future.